Hello and welcome to my channel, Knitting Books, etc. My name is Cristina, and on social media I am Puella63. Today is the 19th of June, almost summer, and I haven't recorded for a bit. I don't know, more than a year I think. I'm not sure. Because I've been in what I call the big slump regarding almost everything, meaning all my hobbies, crafts, reading. I don't know. I've been reading, but only bits of a book, and then I'll stop and I read bits of another book. So I think that I'm always reading, but never finishing anything. So for even in audio, nothing grabs my attention. Or sometimes I start. For example, I'm going to give you an example. I started reading this book, which was recommended to me by, I don't know if it was Tom L.A. Books or Scott Danielson, who mentioned it and mentioned this author, and then I asked for advice on which book to start. And I've had this book in my libraries for some time, and the other day I decided to read it. So I started reading. I read, it seems that I read 110 pages in one sitting, and then I guess I fell asleep or something like that, and I never picked it up. But I liked what I read. I was interested. And that's how it's been. So I'm always reading, but when I stop, it seems that I forget the books. And even the most easy to read, shallow audiobook, the same. I was trying to check here what I have in my library at the moment that I started, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books between fiction and non-fiction. Actually, 4 non-fiction and 2 fiction books. And again, one of them is a mystery, a crime by J.D. Robb, which is Nora Roberts, which is a collection of books that this one is the 50 something, and I never had any trouble listening to it. I'm always curious, but what's happening is that I listen for a bit, and then I stop because I have to do something else, and I never come back. And that's how it's been. So that's why I haven't recorded, I guess. And the same is with my craft things, or crafty things. So I decided today to just upload a video on books with my intentions for the near future, and then I will also record a book on my crafting, because very often people who like to listen about books don't like to listen about crafts, and vice versa. So I am going to split them. The thing is, I have been this year, for several times I've been not quite well in health-wise, and I'm exhausted at present, and I think it's this state of exhaustion that doesn't allow me to focus on something. So although I want to read, and I like to read, and I enjoy when I'm reading, again when I'm knitting, again when I'm doing something else. It never lasts. That's how it is. So I'm trying, because I have so many books started and not finished. I made a plan. I am the girl of plans. So I made a plan, and I wanted to finish at least 2 books until the end of June. One of the books, it's a heavy one. I'm reading with other people here on BookTube, with Tom LA Books and with Face. There are other people in the group that I don't know if they are reading or not, but at least they are in the Voxer group where we are discussing. And the book is a heavy one because it is, let me see the title, I have here the title. It's Introduction to Christianity by Joseph Ratzinger, and I am more or less in the middle of the book. I don't have it here. I actually have the Kindle book and I have the audio book, which I am reading and listening at the same time. When it's something that I need to focus more, it helps. But again, I don't know when was the last time I picked it up. So I'm more or less in the middle, but I want to read it until the end of the month. And the other one, it's the audiobook, the crime story, Encore in Death, from the In Death series. And I'm not going to promise myself or to read anything else. I'm going to focus on these 2 books, and we'll see what's next. Then in July, of course, I am going to, and I think that's what prompted me to record today. It's because July is approaching and it's Jane Austen July, and I love Jane Austen. I've always loved her, and so I'm going, and very recently, I know this is an intrusion of the crafty business with here in the BookTube, but I even crocheted a Miss Jane Austen. So this is what's called an amigurumi, which is a stuffed toy, and this is from an author of a book. The book is Iconic Women, and this is supposed to be Jane Austen. So in honor of Jane Austen, in Jane Austen July, I crocheted this, and it's amazing that I managed to finish something. And I'm going to read first. There are some friends of mine here in Portugal that have never read her or don't know much about her, or some of the books they don't know. So we are going to read at least this one, Emma, which is my favorite book. And so I'm going to read Emma, and I'm going to... My phone
Have
talk.
a couple of uniforms. Take
Oops.
her down.
Sorry.
You said when you'll need it.
That was the audiobook that started. So I was going to say that not only am I going to read Emma, I don't know. Again, I'm not promising anything because of how things are now. I want also to finish this book, which I started another July, I don't know, 2 years ago perhaps, but I never finished, although I like it a lot, because I think that this is John Mulligan. He is very entertaining. I read his book on Dickens as well, and now I'm going to read this one again, which is, he mentions several aspects of the novels. He goes through all the novels, and so I'm going to try and uh, read this. I also have a biography of Jane Austen which I would like to read, but again, I'm not going to say that I'm going to do it because of how things have been lately. So this is my, or these are my plans for the end of June and the beginning of July, and we will see how things progress then. But I've missed booktube and I've missed discussing books with other people. I hope this phase goes away and I'll be back